VSiN, the sports betting network.
Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Welcome in. It is Follow the Money here on VSiN, the sports betting network. Mitch Moss, Paulie Howard with you live downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. Very busy 3-hour program lined up today. We'll get into the committee rankings with possible playoff point spreads, upset alert this week in college football, look ahead lines in the National Football League, the NBA card, and good afternoon and early evening to those of you watching or listening on the brand new VSiN Watch app, which you can get and download today at the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store as well. We are loaded today, Paulie. So we'll have a lot on the Thursday night game tomorrow because I think this is going to continue to be a developing situation with the weather. A couple days ago, it looked like it was going to be a severe weather game, Cleveland hosting Pittsburgh. And as we're sitting here now, a little bit more than 24 hours out, the total got as low as 35.5. It is now up to 37 at some sharp books, including here at Circa. Other spots still show 36.5 in this spot. Pittsburgh a 3.5-point favorite with that total, like I said. And you go back and forth, you read different reports. Kevin Roth is great at the meteorology aspect of this and tied it into fantasy and betting as well. He is saying that we're going to get some sort of precipitation. And it depends on how cold it is, obviously. If it's freezing, it'll be snow. If it stays above freezing, it's going to be rain. We're talking about 80%. But he thinks it's not going to be that windy of a game. And I think that's why we're seeing the total get 37 is a key number in totals in football. I think that's why we've seen some money come in on the total in the last 12 hours or so.
Yeah. So 40 degrees, not that bad. 15 to 18 mile per hour winds, and it's going to rain. So how hard? Is it raining sideways? And it appears if it's not that windy, okay, not that big a deal. So talk to our guy Rizzo tomorrow. Get him on in the pregame. Boots on the ground, see what he thinks. But it's he figures to be a good spot for the Steelers, that you're still taking on a bad team with a turnover-prone quarterback, and should take it away and force some turnovers, and I would think they would get theirs too. After you couldn't stop Taysom Hill, my God.
I know.
And you couldn't slow down the Saints, and all of a sudden no one can stop Valdez-Scantling. This is a game the Steelers win and continue to prove that they're a contender and a team to beat in the AFC. But it's just, this feels like the kind of thing, check back with me in an hour about what the update is on the weather.
I think you're right. Roth keeps saying we're going to have sustained winds around 10 miles an hour, but gusts up to maybe 20. But 10 miles an hour with the winds, if that's going to be the sustained mile per hour that we're going to get, that's nothing. And so as a result, now this is on the move, but earlier today I was, once I saw this new update coming with the weather, Russell Wilson was 173.5 yards passing. Mm-hmm. And I hit that a couple of times today. Now it's up like 10 yards, up to 183.5. But did you know that every single quarterback facing Cleveland this year, outside of Gardner Minshew, has gone over that number? And Wilson has done it in 4 since he came in as a starting quarterback. Yeah. He's gone over that number every single time.
That's strong.
I think it was so low because they were just figuring, okay, it's going to be, it's either rainy or snowy the entire time with heavy winds. Probably not the case now.
Yeah, we're almost in December, so 40 degrees there isn't a big deal.
No, not at all.
It's 15 mile per hour winds, not a huge deal, and it might rain. Okay, and if it rains, how hard? So it's not. I don't think it warranted the 6-point move, and now a 5-point move. So let's rock and roll tomorrow.
So Cleveland, kind of the epicenter of the sports world for a good day or so, with that game tomorrow night, and their Cavaliers suffered their first loss last night. That was a good game.
It was.
And so we talked about that yesterday. The Celtics, like that game, almost every Celtics game has a chance to go one way or the other, right? Because if they're hitting their threes, like nobody's going to beat them. And my God almighty, did they hit their threes in the first half. They were burying that team.
Yeah, but Cleveland bounced back.
Yes, they did.
You got to feel good about Cleveland. Now, I know your guy's injured and you're going to get Porzingis back, but Garland was 3 of 20 at one point and started 1 of 11, and they're still in the game. And then they have a chance to win, and they get the money as they only lose by 3. So Boston shoots lights out. I get a horrible game by Garland, who I think bounces back tonight. His prop's only 18.5. And they're still in the game, and Mitchell played well down the stretch, and it's a 3-point game. So there it is again with how good they are offensively, and it exploded late, and it got to the over.
Can you believe it got to the over?
I know, with the stuff. Yeah, the shenanigans light. So but I feel great about Cleveland and the fact that was going on, that Boston was 50% from three to start out, and how great they were first half shooting the ball, and they come all the way back and make it a game and had a chance to win and get the money.
That's kind of my takeaway as well. I feel really good today, by the way, about having that 11-1 ticket on the Cavaliers to win the Cup. Right? They're going to make it. They're going to get out of this group, or they're going to be a wild card team to get in. Point differential is going to be in their favor. So that number, I think, is going to come out, and the Cavaliers absolutely have a chance to win this. And I thought, that game was going to mean something to Boston last night. And they came out with their hair on fire, and you could tell that they wanted to show the Cavaliers, okay, this is a fun story. You're 15-0, but not on our turf, not tonight. But my takeaway today is the Cavaliers are absolutely for real. Mm-hmm. And it didn't.
Absolutely.
15-0 can be a little fugazi. Depends on the opponents, whatever. They are right there with Boston, almost as good as that team.
That's how it goes in today's NBA. One team was atrocious from three for much of the game. The other team was lights out, and yet it's a ball game. So full marks to Cleveland. They're going to be a problem. No doubt about it. Right? Now, why were you so strong on Tatum rebounds? That was something.
Well, because, the history here, and with no Porzingis, they're going to get some rebounds. Somebody has to do the rebounding, right? And Drew Holiday's kind of a disappointment as one of the guards to help out with rebounding. He's gone under his prop a ton of times this year. And Tatum, what do you have, 8 at halftime? Mm-hmm. I think was the number. He almost went over at halftime. He has now, keep that in mind, every time they play Cleveland, depending on who else is playing for the Celtics, he's gone over 8.5 every time but one going back to last year. And he flies over that number with the rebounds. So I just thought it was a little bit too low. The Derek White prop didn't cash. Had I played his 16.5 number, that was good. I played 20 plus, and he landed on 19. So that was kind of to the kidney. Yeah, but you have to be buying in. And if you're slow to buy in, that's fine. But the fact that this team's number one in offense and averaging 123 points per game, and how Atkinson has elevated them. Oh, big time. And the other guys, whether it's Atkinson or they're just finding themselves now and improving. But what Mobley and Garland have done offensively and to take the next step, it's a good coaching job. And again, I think they're going to make the conference finals. I'm that confident on what I've watched game in, game out with this team. No, I would agree. And the other story is out on the West Coast and what rookie Dalton Knecht did for the Lakers. Basically, he's had 4 really good games in a row, 37 last night, and almost every 3, he scored 18 straight points. How about that? In that game for the Lakers? So Hachimura says, hey, you need a celebration after you hit a 3. He goes, I can't think of anything. So he did the Jordan shrug. Right. That's all he could come up with. So he's the 4th Laker in history, to hit 9 threes. Think about that. Wow. It's LeBron, it's Kobe, and but that's 2 of them. So what Knecht does, and good on Redick to give him more minutes, but also it's just, why was he there? Why were the Lakers handed a gift? And now you turn your head. It's kind of like we'll get to with Daniels coming up. There's so much going on with football and awards and everything. You turn your head for 2 seconds. Bam, a guy can go from 20-1 to 3-1 to win an award. And that's what happened here with Rookie of the Year and also Defensive Player of the Year and Most Improved with Daniels, and Knecht now as low as plus 250 to win the award after he goes off. But it's just, you got to guard him. Do you have the scouting report? He's going to make those. So it's unlimited range. It's I know. And by the way, every one was from the left wing. Yeah, and it made it a point to get back over there. I would say actually that the Jazz defense, they knew it was coming, and they had a couple of guys surrounding him, but he was still so good to get him off, and everything was just dropping, man. He was making it rain. Yeah, the people in the front row could have grabbed him. I mean, he's right. That's how far out he is, though, too. But he's from way out Curry land knocking those down. He was making it rain. So maybe he gets a celebration now, too. But, okay, another win, 10-4. So I said they could take off here and get a winning streak going, and that's what they're doing. So great job by the Lakers. Didn't cover. But to keep it going, you take on Orlando as well in another game you should win, although Orlando has held 6 straight opponents under 100 points, which is unheard of in today's NBA. So Knecht dropped 37, and he had those 9 threes. He scored 18 consecutive points. The entire arena was on fire. They couldn't get enough of it. LeBron's everybody's dancing right on the baseline. Yes. They're going crazy, and why would you not? And that kid dropped to number 17 overall in the draft, and I'm still just amazed at that idea. Uh-huh. And so was LeBron James, evidently, during the draft, and he was asked about it last night after the game. We'll get it for you in a second here. LeBron just was... the smiling from... Yeah, the ear-to-ear smiles while the game was going on. Yeah. Here you go. Here's LeBron after the game.
They didn't find DK. The other 16 teams f***ed it up. Did anybody watch him? They just didn't it up.
It's one of the best things LeBron James ever said. He was asked about how the Lakers found him at number 17. He's like, found him?
Yeah.
Every other team, did they watch him play in college basketball last year? I was betting Knecht to go like top 5, top 6 last year in the draft. I couldn't believe what I was watching.
Right. Humans loved it too. So now it shouldn't be, people shouldn't take it as he's ripping the Lakers, because now he just tweeted, "Oh, I'm going to get off social media for a while. You all have fun." But I mean, that was sincere, and that was honest, and he's right. It's like, okay, great job, we got him, but it's not like, okay, we did our scouting and did our homework here. We found a gem. It's also, I'll go back to this, that there's too many organizations and too many people who look to the Euros first.
Oh my, that's all it was last year.
Yeah, it's like, how about the guy who just was great and we watched him every game at Tennessee? You might want to take him.
He was the SEC Player of the Year. He carried the team in the tournament. He did exactly what he did last night over and over and over again all year last year. And yet, here's another 19-year-old kid who played for the G League and some defunct team now. Oh, I think his potential is going to be, get out of here, get lost. And Knecht was the one guy I wanted to bet for Rookie of the Year. I never did. This is a lose-lose for me to say this. I'm paying attention and watching the Lakers game. This is November 16th, 4 days ago.
Yeah.
He's going nuts. He's 22-1 to win Rookie of the Year. I'm like, I got to bet that.
One game, you saw enough, right?
It was second game that did it.
Okay, second game.
He's down at 2-1 today. Totally preposterous.
It's like it reminds me of the Daniels thing.
Yep.
Right, all of a sudden, bam, 7-1, 6-1 now. Yep.
Former NFL MVP Rich Gannon joins the show up next. At what point of the season do players start to check out?
Coming up Wednesday on Follow the Money, Sal Pal on the top NFL games, Rich Gannon with his thoughts on quarterback play, Matt Humans with picks, and Stanford Steve as well with top bottom, ROI in all the sports. Follow the Money weekdays, 4 to 7 Eastern, VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Want to see who at VSiN is on a hot streak? Go to VSiN.com/picks to see all the selections and weekly leaderboard of VSiN hosts, writers, and guests. Become a VSiN Pro subscriber and get every pick sent to your inbox daily. Just head to VSiN.com/pro.
So, Paulie, have you had a chance to read the VSiN Daily yet?
Yeah, came in at 3 a.m. What's Bill doing up that late?
Well, rumor has it, it starts off with a 12-hour meditation session.
Then he just pours himself over film and live TV, really focusing and taking it all in. Bill's in with the biggest insiders, talking trade secrets, strategies, the whole nine, absorbing the info.
And then and only then can the writing process begin.
In Las Vegas, Bill's late night becomes your early morning. Wake up to the very latest betting insights in your inbox with the VSiN Daily. Sign up for free at vsin.com/newsletter.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
It's good to have you on board. It is Follow the Money. We're live downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino every Wednesday at this time. Former NFL MVP Rich Gannon joins the program, and he is on the Progressive guest line. Rich, good afternoon. Thanks for the time as always. How are you?
Guys, I'm doing great. Just every week it seems like we talk about the craziness that is the NFL. You know, I was doing something today on my radio show, and I did a little exercise, and I went back and looked at the teams that have the worst records since 2000. It's a long time. It's 24 years. The worst records. Cleveland, number 1. The Raiders, number 2. You know, the Jets, I think, were 5th. You know, some of these teams, you know, they struggle, and then they fire the coach, they fire the GM, they replace the quarterback, and they go through this dysfunctional cycle, and they go through it over and over and over again, and they just never seem to get it right. But you know, all it takes is the hit on a good coach, a good general manager, and a good quarterback. Look at Detroit. I think Detroit was number 3 on that list of teams that had the most losses in the NFL since 2000. And you change the general manager, you bring in Dan Campbell, you go out and get Jared Goff, and now all of a sudden things look and feel a whole lot different in Detroit.
Right. You know what also, Rich, on that list, what they have in common? They blow first-round draft picks every year, or most of the time. That shows you how important it is to nail those picks.
We talk a lot about an organization's ability to identify who the good players are, who the good coaches are, who the good assistant coaches are. I think I might have mentioned this last week. The last 3 years alone, the first overall pick in the draft, 3 years ago it was Trevor Lawrence. Last year it was Bryce Young. This year it's Caleb Williams. All 3 of those quarterbacks in their rookie year, we either fired the head coach or the play caller. It's just a really bad situation to come. You're trying to develop a young player,
yeah,
and then you pull the rug out from under them. It's just the craziness, which is the NFL, just absolutely blows my mind.
Well, what's next for the Jets? They fired Joe Douglas, their GM, yesterday, right? Rodgers, I mean, it's over for him. I mean, the way it appears. So, and as somebody that played in the league for so long, you won an MVP, you made a trip to the Super Bowl. This is a very common thought in media, and I think amongst bettors as well. We bring it up on this show. Like, players are going to be checking out. Does that actually happen? You know, the Jets, are the players checked out there? Look at what happened to Jacksonville last week. Doug Peterson getting fired, the writing's on the wall there. The Bears as well. Do players actually check out midway or the back end of the season?
Well, the situation in New York is dire. I mean, you know, you look at Joe Douglas's reign as the general manager, 30 and 64 guys in 6 seasons, and the numbers, their win percentage, 31% was 30th, and they're dead last when you look at points per game, yards per game, and the point margin during his tenure as the general manager. They could never get the quarterback situation right. Mm-hmm. And here's what does happen. We like to think that it won't happen, like players won't check out, you know, coaches don't start trying to call around their offices to other coaches around the league. We're looking for another gig. But what you will see is you'll see players turn down some hits. You'll see some players maybe not stick the shoulder in there. You start to see the effort fall off. You start to see practices fall off. And, you know, you like to hope that in some situations, like, for example, the New York Giants, I talked to someone who was out of practice today. He said it was the worst practice they had this season. So, you know, and you say to yourself, why is that? Well, the team's smart. You can't fool the players. Daniel Jones isn't playing not because he's had a great year, because he's had a horrible year. The team has struggled, and the offense is bad. But they're not any better with the next guy, right? So they're looking around. The team's looking around. They're saying they're not playing Daniel Jones, and they're not even playing the backup quarterback because he's got an incentive in his contract for play time. So now we're going to play the third quarterback, Tommy DeVito. What kind of message does that send to the football team? And I think when that starts to happen, then guys start to worry about themselves more than the team.
That's a great answer. I'm glad you brought that up because apparently Lawrence said something, and other guys are ticked off because it looks like Jones is going to be 4th string. They did not like how that was handled, and they still refer to him as QB number 1. That's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, and Drew Lock got a $5 million signing bonus.
Yeah.
He was a backup quarterback all season, and he's got these escalators in his contract for play time and for completion percentage and things like that. So, you know, they want to save some money there. They don't want Daniel Jones to get hurt because he's got a $23 or $25 million injury guarantee. So, like, here you are, you're trying to finish out the season. You know, you're 2-8. And you're not giving your football team the best chance to win. So when you're the head coach and you stand up in front of the team and say, we're making this change for this reason, that's how you lose a football team. My sense is that Brian Dable's not back in New York next season, and maybe they move on from Joe Schoen, the general manager as well, Joe Schoen.
Let's follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Our guest, former NFL MVP Rich Gannon, and he is on the progressive guest line. What's the problem in San Francisco?
They're not playing as well defensively. I think offensively, it's every week it's somebody else, right? For the first part of the season, it was Christian McCaffrey. Last week, they don't have George Kittle. I still like the young quarterback. I think he's a bright spot in a lot of this. But they just haven't been as good in late games. They've lost 3 games, guys, when they've had the lead in the fourth quarter. I think they've lost 2 games inside of 2 minutes in the fourth quarter. So, they're just not finishing like they normally do. They're not playing complementary football. And this is usually where they kick it into gear, right? When you think about Kyle Shanahan, historically, they've been really good finishers in the second half of the season. That's an interesting division. You look where the Rams are at. The Cardinals sit atop that division. If they were somehow able to hold on, they'd go from worst to first for the first time in franchise history. But I think this one's going to come right down to the wire between the Rams, the Cardinals, and the 49ers.
What would you do in Dallas? Here's another mess about what's going on in a lame duck coach, and
well, he's not. Look, Mike's in the last year of his contract. He's won 12 games in each of the first 3 seasons he's been there, and they're not gonna. They've already decided they're not gonna renew his contract, and so they're gonna move on. I mean, it's just look. When the owner is the general manager and he picks the players, it's never the players. It's always the coaches. And I'm not defending Mike. He's a friend of mine. He was my position coach for 4 years in Kansas City. I love him. I'm not defending him. He's had moments where he's not handled in-game decisions and game management. And of course, this year the team has been awful. Injuries have certainly been a part of that. You lose the quarterback, but it's bad all around. And I think we were in a business where it's never about, what I did. It's always somebody else. And I just think that's, the owner picks the players and he's going to pick the next head coach in Dallas.
Do you love or hate the idea of a package deal, Deion Sanders and Shedeur, if they're in position here to draft him, Cowboys now, and then hire Deion as the head coach?
I think Deion's done some amazing things in his coaching career. When you look at, going down to a historically black college and done a great job. Then he goes to Colorado and the success that he's had turning that program around. So there's no question. I think he can inspire and develop young players. He puts together a great coaching staff. I think he has natural leadership qualities. So I think there's going to be a lot of teams, NFL teams, that are interested in him. I think his son is probably, if not the best quarterback in the draft, certainly the top 2. I think when you look at his body of work, he's a terrific player. But these package deals, you got to be careful with, guys. And I think, there's some baggage that goes along with it. So, I would just simply say buyer beware. Like I'm not aware of a lot of situations. I think back to Eli Manning when he came out and of course gets drafted by the Chargers and tells the Chargers he's not going to play for him and he gets traded to the Giants. There's not a lot of people in those positions. I think when you look at the Sanders situation, it's kind of interesting. I don't know that it's going to turn out as a package deal. I think the only place that would possibly work would be with Dallas, with Jerry, where he's got that relationship. But we'll see. We'll see how it works out. Maybe they wind up in Vegas. Maybe they convince Tom Brady and Mark Davis that it's a package deal in Vegas.
Yeah. What did you see with the Colts play calling, Shane Steichen running things there offensively in Indy, and then as a result, then what it looked like with Anthony Richardson after he was benched for 2 weeks?
You have to be encouraged, right? I think he took better care of the ball. I think the accuracy and anticipation, throwing the ball a little bit better. He didn't look as flustered. He looked more in control. Certainly, when you watch him pull it down and run, I think that's a very natural thing for him. And I think the other thing that was encouraging to see was how his teammates rallied around him. I think his teammates were generally happy for his success. So that's a good sign, right? I think that, as a quarterback, you want your teammates to believe in you. And I think they went on the road last week. And look, I probably like you guys, I'm a sucker. Like, I don't know why, but I really felt like the Jets would win that game, and they didn't. So I'm done with the Jets. I think they've been favored in 9 of the first 10 games this season. I've had enough of Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, but big win for the Colts, and it keeps them in the thick of things in the AFC playoff picture.
Yeah. Rich, like in 30 seconds here, are you surprised the Ravens are a 3-point favorite on the road Monday night against the Chargers?
A little bit, especially when you look at the struggles they've had offensively here the last 2 weeks. I think teams have done a better job containing Lamar Jackson. And I think defensively, their pass defense is a real cause for concern for John Harbaugh and those defensive coaches.
Yep, totally agree. Love talking to you, Rich. Thanks so much for the time today. We appreciate
it. Thanks, guys.
There you go. Rich Gannon, former NFL MVP. Every Wednesday at this time, he joined us on the Progressive Guest Line.
I'm glad it was brought up and we asked him about it because Michael Irvin just said, because you know who he talked to, he said if the Cowboys take Shador, that Deion will take the job. He says, I have a great source. Well, you know who he talked to. So think about that. I think Jerry would do it.
I also think Mark Davis would do it out here, too, like Rich just hinted at.
Yep, right.
That would be another spot.
He's sick of the carousel, and they can't get it right either. Right.
We have early Week 13 numbers in the NFL, Thanksgiving games, Black Friday, and a massive primetime game on the schedule. Point spread totals next.
Sports betting game with VSiN's exclusive betting splits. Stay ahead with real-time market trends and track bet percentages on any matchup, then uncover the edge by comparing them to the amount of bets placed to find out where the sharp money is headed. Upgrade to VSiN Pro to access betting splits, live odds, line moves, power ratings, and in-depth game analysis. Go to VSiN.com/pro to join VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Win-lose coming up in 15 minutes. Here we go with early numbers. Week 13, National Football League. We're talking Thanksgiving. We're talking Black Friday. What a great week. The opening game on Thanksgiving. Bears at the Lions. This had a lot of juice until about a month and a half ago.
Hello, Survivor, also. Now, what's the setup with you now? Because you're going to be gone. You're traveling with family, and you got the son now.
Right.
When are you going to dig into the food? Halftime of this game? Is it too early? Appetizers?
I think so. Here's the thing, and I'd love feedback on this. On X at VSiN Live, at Mitch Moss Radio, at Paulie Howard, FTM at VSiN.com is the email. My wife and I are taking Sebastian back. He's 7 months on Friday. So first Thanksgiving back to Wisconsin, where I'm all friends, family, going to see him for the first time for the most part. The Packers play Thursday night at home at Lambeau. Probably the only time it's going to be in that spot for the rest of my life. Like, how many times will Green Bay, because they also play the Lions and they play the Cowboys occasionally. It'll probably never happen again. Do we go to the game? I'm about 3 hours from Green Bay.
Yeah, you got to go.
We have to go.
Yeah.
You're about the 8th person to tell me no brainer.
Got to go. And then drop the kid off at the Gentleman's Club. Got to do it. That's the move.
I'll get Kids Quest from Station Casinos to watch them during that time.
Bring them over.
You'll keep them for the week?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's the do we go? Do we go to the game?
You got to go to the game.
Yeah, we have to go to the game.
Yes, you have to go to the game. It's Lambeau Field.
I know.
It's right up there. I mean, name the 10 most iconic stadiums. Even 5. I mean, they're on the list. Wrigley, Fenway. I've been to both.
Yeah.
Lambeau. I mean,
Lorraine's never been there either.
Oh, God. Have to do it. Yep.
We'll get to that game in a second. Lions are 10.
Oh, boy.
Totals 48 against the Bears.
Oh, you're right. How things have changed.
I would lay anything below 10 with the Lions.
I saw an 11 out there.
Oh, did you?
This is, oh, mama. I can't make the case for the Bears.
No, neither can I.
I can't do it. Because it goes back to what we just discussed with Rich Gannon. I mean, it's... Plus, you're at a big disadvantage. They're at home. They're hot. You got to travel. You got... Oh, boy. Not good. I think Goff's going to go off, too.
I was hoping it would be below 10. Yeah. Giants at the Cowboys. Dallas 2.5, 39.
Not only did I love Tampa Sunday, I like them even more. Again, these comments coming out of New York from Dexter Lawrence and other people that I did not like how this was handled. Jones is now could be 4th string. You didn't do it the right way. It was unprofessional. We still consider him our quarterback. I don't like that. And now it's Tommy Cutlets. But now you're going to... And Cooper Rush looked okay Monday. I mean, he threw for 340, so it was better. But I'm not in a hurry to say, well, under going to be low scoring, whatever. But it's just it's an ugly game. No doubt about it. But I would actually have to go with Rush over Tommy Cutlets here.
No, so would I.
Because Tommy had his moments at home. Tommy was a different quarterback on the road during that little run.
This is what I wrote at VSiN.com for all these games. I hope the tryptophan kicks in.
Everyone wants to get the nap in here. Here's what they should do. There's a hell of a game in college. They should move Memphis-Tulane up.
To what time?
Probably, I'd say a couple hours, so it would be right here. Who wants to watch this? Memphis-Tulane is a big game, even though Tulane's already in the championship game, but Tulane's ranked, and still there's a chance they could make the playoff if something happens to Boise.
I like where your head's at.
I would move that game up and then say, okay, now everyone, let's have some dessert and watch Dolphins-Packers.
So this is the game you're telling me I have to go to. Miami's at Green Bay. Packers 3.5. Total is 47. Since Tua came back, they have scored 27, 27, 23, and 34 points. That goes back to week 8. However, I have Tua at 0-7 in his career when the weather is 45 degrees or colder. I have him at 0-4 when it's below 40 degrees. The current forecast this far out calling for 22 degrees on Thanksgiving night in Green Bay.
Oh, it's Kansas City Part 2. Now, Kansas, that was like Hoth. I mean, that was like 8 below what that was. But still, that's... Yeah, I could see it that Green Bay takes them out.
You think a Green Bay or nothing?
Yeah.
All right.
There's something to it, absolutely. That's a big deal.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Black Friday, Raiders at the Chiefs, KC 11.5, total is 43.5.
Kermit the Frog game.
Remember what happened the first time they played not that long ago?
I know, last year, total fluke, though. Total.
No, not last year, last couple weeks ago.
Yeah, okay.
When they played.
Okay, well, last year was okay, fine.
It was,
silly turnovers. Yeah, I think it's not going to go well for the Raiders offensively, and you get an angry Kansas City team again, knowing what happened last year on Christmas, and They were humiliated. They couldn't stop the run, and then just the high school turnovers and 2 defensive touchdowns for the Raiders.
Up to 12.5 now, DraftKings.
Yep.
You know what to do here, right? The play, and every bettor in the world's going to be on this. The Chiefs are terrible against what position? The tight end.
That's right.
Brock Bowers is going to go bananas against this defense.
Good call.
Right?
Here we go. The Jets are favored again.
I wrote about this.
What is this?
How? Tell me how they're... By the way, Paul, I went back and looked. They've taken money, I think, 6 straight weeks.
Yep. So Rich Gannon's right. They have been favored as many times as the Bills and the Chiefs.
Correct.
Here they are. They're favored again. And you're right about all those times taking money. They're playing Seattle at home. How many people are you going to fire? And now the report comes out that Woody Johnson wanted to bench and get rid of Rodgers in week 4.
Insane. Yep.
So
by the way, Seattle probably, they have a chance here. Going back to last week, could have saved their season.
No doubt. And the other thing is, which I can't believe, the Jets can't stop anything. And how bad it's been since they waxed Salah. Well, Seattle's got weapons. They're going to throw all over them.
Secondary stinks.
Oh, no, this can't be.
The whole defense is bad. Watch this now. But here's the thing, right? If they take money every single week, don't bet the Seahawks now. Why would the Jets probably not go up to 3? They're going to be off the bye. I mean, I don't know if it touches that number or not, but I don't understand it. We're totally missing something here. They're a bad football team.
That's right.
With an old quarterback and an overrated defense, and they have nothing to play for.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Texans are 6.5 at Jacksonville. Total is 42.5.
Should be a burial. Absolutely. No excuses. Dominate this team and end it in the second quarter. You know, again, the fast starts, 10-1 ATS first half. Look better offensively. You know, Bobby, feel free to mix in the run from time to time with Mixon, but with Collins back now and this dead team walking, should bury them. You should blow out Tennessee and you should blow out Jacksonville and get right.
Totally agree.
And here's another one. I saw Pick'em with this game. This was at I think it was DK. You can't sell me on anything Atlanta related right now. Mm-hmm. Chargers? Number 1, it's a coaching mismatch. Number 2, there's zero pressure on a quarterback. Hurbert's going to be able to go back there and have a snack. And how well he played against Cincinnati. So I know something could happen in the Monday night game, which is buyer beware with the look-ahead lines. But there's just no way I could get on Atlanta here.
Yeah,
the way they're playing.
Here's the spot that the Chargers are in. They're going to be flying across the country on short rest after their Monday night game to play a 10 a.m. body clock game, and Atlanta's off the bye.
Don't care.
Neither do I.
Harbaugh's done this all the time, and he was awesome at it at San Francisco.
Yep, and that's exactly what I wrote at VSiN.com. I'm like, it's a terrible spot for the Chargers. Uh-huh. I don't care. I get the better coach, I get the better quarterback, and I get the better defense, and it's not close. I don't know how this game's around to pick them. Like you said, something could happen on Monday night, fine. It's football, it's gambling, injuries happen. The Chargers to be around to pick them in that neighborhood against Atlanta, that's crazy talk. Titans at the Commanders, Washington 7.45.5.
Seems low.
I agree. If they're laying 10.5 this week, right now to the Cowboys, Titans have a good defense. They're also the worst team in the NFL ATS.
And what more do we need to see out of Will Levis? He can't play. And again, they're not well coached, and the stupid penalties every week. Tennessee will beat themselves. Just give it time. Allow it, right? Mm-hmm. Are you surprised the Bengals are favored against Pittsburgh? We're just going to say, well, must-win scenario.
Yeah,
again,
but I'm over that, though. How many times have we heard, like, must-win or gotta have it so far this year, and it, like, never comes in?
Well, I'm guilty, too. I've been on the Bengals several times, and they keep letting me down.
Oh.
Can't stop anything.
It's the defense. I mean, I can only look now, not knowing the weather in Cincinnati next week. 47, I think, is too low.
Our best deal ever. Sign up today. VSiN Pro Access. Everything we do through May 1st, $60. It's real. I can't believe it. Every best bet, every host, every guest. Unlimited access to the betting splits from DK and Circa, the dog videos, the hippo videos, and the 24 video access 24/7. Betting guides. Best offer, not of the year, ever. 7 years doing this. $60 through May 1st. VSiN.com/subscribe.
We'll get to the back end of the games and the schedule after Win Some, Lose Some coming up. What is your routine typically on Thanksgiving Day? How do you approach it? Out here on the West Coast, with that game starting at, 9:30?
Sometimes it's a 2 for Tuesday where you take advantage of several invites and you hit them early and then you hit them late with the leftovers. But, up early, watch the first game, Then they start with the snacks and the appetizers, and then you just get right into it about 11:30, 12 o'clock. There's no reason to mess around.
No, and then you pick and you graze pretty much the entire rest of the time.
And it'll be a trip to Barry's too, maybe, with what they offer, because Derek said he's right. It's the best turkey he's ever had. But you get it ready and get ahead of it Wednesday too, with everything ready to go.
And then all day on Friday again with the day game on Black Friday.
The best part about
leftovers.
The best part is the leftovers.
Totally agree.
Friday, Saturday. I don't get sick of turkey ever.
I think the food is better the next day.
Yeah.
You put it all together. That's why that sandwich is so popular. You put it all together because every bite mixes together beautifully. We'll get to the rest of the Week 13 schedule coming up, and Paul's going to recap last night's betting action and win some, lose some here on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Got a good thing coming, just wait and see. It's a good.
You spoke, we listened. Introducing the all-new VSiN Watch app. Now, you can watch and listen to VSiN expert analysis live wherever you are. Missed a show? No problem. Catch replays of VSiN's full lineup at any time. View highlights sorted by sport. Or use the search feature to find specific teams and topics you're looking for. And the best part? It's free for a limited time. Download the VSiN Watch app today. Available now on the App Store and Google Play. And join us on the Sports Betting Network. last night?
Wow, winning.
Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser!
Paulie Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
Hello, Spurs money line plus 390. No Wemby, and they took out the Thunder. Oh boy, what a surprise that was. Cavs Celtics over 229.5 up to 234.5, 120 to 117. Mavs, that's what it's supposed to look like. 10.5 up to 13, won by 100. Again, I mean, I think you, me, the janitor, and a couple guys behind the glass could beat the Pelicans. What they're trotting out there. College football, Akron 8.5 up to 10.5, won by 21. College hoops, Cleveland State and Minnesota under 135.5 down to 128, 58-47. Wisconsin Green Bay 1.5 up to 4. See, calling your name, get there. Won by 25. Marquette again 2.5 up to 6. Beat Purdue by 18. Good job, Shaka. That was nice. Subscribe, be part of the team, VSiN.com, our radio and podcast friends. You always want to see these tweets and videos. This is a tweet with a picture. It's called Shortest Walk Ever. You look, and it's just the paw print of the puppy in the snow and realizing, no, not up in here. Too cold. Takes out. They open the door and he goes, I'm not going out here. I'll hold it. I don't care if I have to go to the bathroom.
One paw, feeling it out. What is this white stuff? I hate it. I'm back in the house.
Right. We showed the one. I think it was a bulldog. He goes, go out, use the bathroom. He went out and turned right back in.
That's right, yeah.
He goes, it's too cold. So this is a different bulldog. We've shown a couple of these before. This is Charlie. He hates garbage cans. Look at this bulldozer. Get out of my way. Boom, bang, bang. Look at him. Running start. Do it again, Charlie. Run it back. Here comes the big fella. Look at this. This is his routine on the walk.
My God, he could play linebacker for like 6 teams right now.
No kidding. Look at how high he gets up. Comes in, jumping, gets the running start, and takes over both garbage cans and going, that's Charlie every day on the walk. Oh, he hates the garbage cans.
All I can think about is the end of Young Guns right now. Old reference. But when Emilio Estevez is telling Charlie, yeah, Charlie, go.
Yes.
There's like a 30-second rant where he's just saying, Charlie, go get him. Yeah, Charlie, the whole time. That's what I'll be doing if that was my dog.
Yes, you would. Go get him, Charlie. Knock him over, Charlie. Look at the look on his face. Yeah, I did that. Yeah, that's awesome. Lose some, Kent State. I already got a great look-ahead spot. They play next Tuesday, their final game at Buffalo. They're 0-11. It's going to get out of control. Just end the season, right? I think they're 2-9 ATS, and Chris Andrews at the South Point said, lowest power-rated team in 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're worse than the UConn team a couple years ago.
What he tweeted. Right. NBA, Celtics 3.5 up to 7. No dice. Thunder 6.5 up to 10. Couldn't win the game. Nets, Hornets under 224 down to 219.5. 116, 115. Nuggets, Grizzlies under 228.5 down to 223.5. 122 to 110. College hoops, Kansas, UNC Wilmington over 154.5 to 161. One lose some. I want to hear from people here. Check in with your family, everybody. I've got to hear from people on this. FTM at VSiN.com or tweet at us at VSiN Live at Paulie Howard at Mitch Moss Radio. So this guy tweeted this last week, and it got over 1 million views. The nightmares about realizing you've accidentally skipped class for an entire semester, or you realize the reoccurring dream, you didn't do any homework, the final is that day. Mitch, I have that dream once a week. I have this dream. No hyperbole, no joke. I have that dream once a week. Oh, no. You wake up, it's like, oh, the final exam's today. I forgot I wouldn't go to class, or I didn't do any of the work, yada, yada.
How long ago were you in college?
Yeah, mid-90s. Graduated in 2000, 95, transferred 95 to 2000.
You still have that dream to this day?
I have that dream. Everyone else says, yes, I have. Look, I'm looking at the comments. This got 1.4 million views.
Oh, my wife has a similar dream, too. Not once a week, but she has it, and she's like, I can't shake it.
I woke up, I have the final today. I didn't go to class.
Missed class, missed the final, forgot to put the, yeah.
How good is that? That's nuts. I have that dream all the time.
It's that common.
Yeah, by all the comments,
evidently, if 1 million people viewed it and they're all responding with the same thing, okay.
Yeah. These dreams create the sense there is something important you've neglected to do, and it's too late. My fear is these dreams are metaphors for an important thing in my life I've refused to acknowledge for too long. Well, but they don't. It's been this way for years.
Yeah, that's probably true with you too. But I would advise that you don't go see a shrink about it. You don't want to know what's buried in there.
A lot of demons. Nothing delivers comfort and joy like the unrivaled quality and taste of Omaha Steaks. Had it last week, delivered right to the house. Oh, the burgers. Oh, the steaks. Mamma mia. OmahaSteaks.com. $30 reward card when you shop early. Get an extra $30 off with promo code MONEY. 5 generations of experience. They deliver the world's best steak experience. And the gifting experts at Omaha Steaks have packages starting at $89.99. Legendary steaks, the burgers, the dogs, mouth-watering desserts, and more. Save 50% off site-wide, omahasteaks.com. Our listeners get an extra $30 off with promo code MONEY and a $30 reward card when you shop early. Code MONEY. Money. omahasteaks.com.
So far on X and email, every person but one has said you have to go to the game.
You have to go to the game.
Let me read this to you. This is from JPD, email ftm@vsin.com. I say don't go, stay with family and friends, tailgate, a lot less aggravation, and your son stays on schedule. I kind of like where that guy's head's at.
The tailgate will be Hall of Fame. It should be.
If that game starts at like 7:20 Central Time, the tailgating is going to have to start when? Noon?
Yeah.
They're going to have to open it up early. Everybody out there with a turkey.
Deep fry it.
Yeah, right.
Get after it. Yep. Let us know about your dreams. Your dreams you keep having. And if you have that
the same one that you have over and over and over again.
Or if you have that one too. Like share with that gentleman with the tweet. Okay. Where were we? Was it Colts Patriots?
Not quite yet. Cardinals at Vikings. Vikings 4-47.
Tough game.
I think Kyler Murray's going to be pretty effective against this defense. I can just see him because it's going to be a blitzkrieg from Brian Flores bringing the heat, and this guy's going to be able to avoid it and just make plays happen constantly with his feet. That's what I see happening in this game.
Imagine they beat Seattle on the road and then go into Minnesota and win.
Probably going to win their division then.
Well, yeah, and also you have to say they're a factor and a contender.
Yeah. So Colts are 2.5 at the Patriots. Total is 42. I can't bet totals this far out yet with look-ahead lines because I don't know what the weather's going to be like. 42. That's going to go over. Right?
Yeah.
Colts are going to score.
Yes, absolutely.
They have a bad defense, and Drake May can play, baby.
Yep. And Henry receiving yards over. Okay, I got to take the Rams. This is nonsense. This thing can't continue with the Saints. It can't. Now, Taysom Hill's a good player, but this Scantling, Hill, how they won their last 2 games, Atlanta blew it. Koo misses 3 field goals. This can't continue. They're just not a good team. I mean, the Rams have got to light them up in this game. Light them up. And I think they'll make a play or two defensively and get it done. That's too much respect for the Saints.
Right. What do you make of this number? Buccaneers are 6 at the Panthers. Totals 44.5. So the Buccaneers are laying what against the Giants this week? Like 5 now? 5.5?
5.5, yeah, right.
And the Giants were just 7 against the Panthers on a neutral? Now this is up to 6.5?
Yeah. I think Tampa gets hot here. Schedule's easy the rest of the way.
Total's 44.5. More on this a little bit later on. Carolina's one of the best teams of the over the entire year. I'm looking at Tampa Bay team total over in this game.
All right.
Not knowing the weather. Eagles at the Ravens, what a game. That's not even a prime time game. Baltimore's 3, total is 50.
Yeah, we're on this bad run. We only have 3 late games. That's
well, the Thanksgiving schedule is going to do that to you.
Yep.
But the Ravens have to play the Chargers now this week and then the Eagles next week?
Didn't work out in the Thursday night game. They won but didn't cover. But I have to back the Ravens here in big games at home. They continue to deliver when it's against the top teams.
Okay.
Goes back years.
How big is this game on Sunday Night Football? I mean, if the Niners lose this week, they're playing for their lungs next week. They might be anyway against Buffalo. Bills are 3, total 47.5. Buffalo's off the bye. Niners play in Lambeau this week. What do you think of that? Is that a lot of respect for the 49ers?
Yeah. It's a ton of respect.
How about this?
From a team that doesn't look the part with an injured quarterback. They are getting Kittle back, but go ahead.
How about the idea that Buffalo's really damn good?
Yeah, I know.
And I can't even tell you how many people have reached out in the last 36, 48 hours to say, why not McDermott Coach of the Year? He's a huge number right now.
Yeah, that's in play. Okay. If they get the 1 seed?
If they get the 1 seed. Now they have that tiebreaker with Kansas City.
No one expected
Nobody
this.
saw this.
Nope.
The Monday night game, Browns at the Broncos.
We can't flex this?
Denver 7.
They're keeping this? You can't be serious. They're keeping this game.
It actually might be kind of entertaining.
Oh, get out.
No, with Jameis at quarterback?
I know.
Throwing the ball all over the yard?
There's just no reason to keep this game.
No, it's a terrible game on paper, sure. Yeah, you hit the leftover turkey there. You better have some on Monday night still. Extra gravy.
Another good point, though, too, from T-Bone. Look at the move on Knicks. Here's another one. Like, you turn your head, bam, from 15-1 to 3-1.
3-1 today.
Yep.
Sal?
Sorry, Knicks will have a big game.
Yep, totally agree. Sal Paolantonio on the show, ESPN up next. He has an opinion on the game tomorrow night, and who does he like in the Ravers-Chargers tilt on Monday night? Find out coming up here on VSiN.
Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard share their knowledge of sports, gambling, and pop culture on Follow the